Now, we know that the EU establishment are feeling the pressure after their disastrous vaccine procurement strategy. We've seen, for instance, Emmanuel Macron now in the polls, pretty much neck and neck, a slight lead only now over Marine Le Pen. In Germany, we've seen Angela Merkel's party recently in some of the regional elections get some of their worst results ever. And Merkel's party now being described in Germany as being in freefall, as I previously reported on this channel. But a really nasty, mean-spirited, small-minded comment from what's being described as a senior diplomat who spoke to CNN. This is Luke McGee of CNN with the quote here. Now, before I get on to the EU lashing out against the UK with what is really a bizarre comment, let's just look for context on the latest figures in terms of international comparisons on vaccine. And it is amid that backdrop, that context, that this really nasty, vindictive, mean-spirited comment from what's being described, as I say, as a senior diplomat, speaking to Luke McGee of CNN. And this is the quote. "You might feel very happy on your little island when you're all vaccinated, but your island might feel very small when you cannot leave because your neighbours are not vaccinated." I mean, number one, that's just a very mean-spirited, ignorant comment, I think, there. And secondly, these people still don't seem to understand that there is a big wide world out there beyond the EU. But I think it shows you and exposes, actually, the attitude that some now hold towards the UK. It's nasty, it's vindictive, it's mean-spirited. And I think, really, it's because they've basically been embarrassed that the UK has already demonstrated the huge advantages of not going along with the EU as a bloc, the fantasy clout that we heard about from so long now. So some in Brussels, I think, are seriously worried about Brexit Britain thriving outside of the EU. I mean, also in this CNN story, you've got Neil Richmond described as an Irish government backbencher who was previously appointed to represent Ireland in Brussels, with the quote, "The perception that the UK is rolling out fast while the EU is stumbling from crisis to crisis is very unhelpful," he says. Well, it's not perception, that's reality, of course. The quote goes on to say, "While no one believes the member state is going to leave over the EU's handling of the pandemic, or that it will fall apart." No, of course not. "The post-Brexit reality is that all crises are automatically linked to the fact the UK has created a framework for leaving." Luke McGee also noting, in short, Europe is an angry place, though that anger is somewhat scattergun. Some of it is aimed at Brussels, some of it is aimed at fellow member states, and some of it is aimed at the recently departed UK, whose vaccine programme is racing ahead. The simple fact is this. I think some in Brussels feel very embarrassed that the shambles that we've seen unfold in the continent can be compared directly to what Brexit Britain has done, acting independently, acting quickly, acting in the national interest, which has been a far more effective approach than a top-down, slow strategy directed, let's not forget, by unelected EU commissioners like Ursula von der Leyen, who, let's face it, are so far out of their depth, it is scary. As ever, guys, if you found this report helpful and informative, please do give it a big thumbs up. Would really appreciate that. And hit the join button down below if you want to support my work here on the channel. And of course, guys, as ever, thanks so much for watching.